Welcome back. 6:52, time for the morning sprint.
We have some breaking news from overnight. 3 firefighters in Beaver Dam are injured after an airboat crash. It happened last night during a training exercise. One of the firefighters is seriously injured. The nature of that injury, though, is not being shared at the moment. The Department of Natural Resources is leading the investigation, along with the Dodge County Sheriff's Office and Beaver Dam Police Department.
Breaking news within the last hour out of Congress. The U.S. Senate passing a $95 billion package with aid for Ukraine and Israel. It's now headed to the House, where it's unclear whether Speaker Mike Johnson will hold a vote on it. The bill passed despite pushback from the Republican presidential frontrunner Donald Trump. Back in Wisconsin, cleanup efforts continue in Rock County this morning, especially in Evansville. We now know how bad the damage was from last week's tornado. Rock County Emergency Management says 3 buildings were destroyed. 10 have major damage. Another 11 have minor damage. 7 other homes were, quote, affected by the tornado.
A daycare provider in Iowa County has pleaded guilty to multiple felonies. The charges come after a 4-month-old boy died from injuries while in her care. Wyatt Hamlin died a couple years ago. The medical examiner determined Wyatt died from abusive head trauma. 31-year-old Joanna Ford has pleaded guilty to multiple charges of neglecting a child in the case. She'll be sentenced in early April.
The Wisconsin DOJ is investigating the death of a person who died after being detained in Lafayette County. Police say 1 officer and 2 deputies detained a suspect in Shullsburg who was resisting arrest yesterday morning. The person became distressed and had to be taken to the hospital, where they later died. All the officers involved are now on administrative duty.
UWPD will soon begin a search for a new chief. Christian Roman has resigned, and it's unclear why. Brent Plish will now take over as interim chief.
Madison Schools will share next steps in the search for a superintendent today. The district will hold a news conference at noon to give more information on the process behind their search, as well as what comes next. Administrators are currently looking over feedback from a series of community interviews with each candidate.
At the Capitol today, the Senate's scheduled to consider a bill on redistricting maps. It comes a week after Majority Leader Devin LeMahieu said that he was interested in potentially passing Governor Evers' original maps. The governor says if the legislature passes his maps unchanged, he'd sign off on it.
The race to replace outgoing U.S. Representative Mike Gallagher is already taking shape. Former State Senator Roger Roth is running, and Republican consultant Alex Brusewitz says he's seriously considering a run. As for Gallagher's future, he says some say he could be eyeing a campaign against Governor Evers in 2026.
Hospital personnel at Walter Reed say Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin should be able to return to his duties today. Austin transferred his duties to his deputy on Sunday following a visit to the critical care unit for an emergency bladder issue. Austin was meant to travel for a meeting with other nations about supporting Ukraine. Now he'll be attending that virtually.
All right, good morning. 5 minutes away from 7 o'clock. Not quite as mild today. We'll be in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, though, we're going to bounce right back in the 40s. We are looking at a system that'll bring some rain and snow tomorrow night, and then change it to all snow by Thursday morning. Then it will be turning colder, actually below average. Upper 20s expected by Friday and Saturday. Today, though, looking at temperatures in the 20s this morning, rising through the 30s. We'll see a little bit more cloud cover this afternoon. A northerly wind will keep our temperatures down from where they were yesterday, but still running above average. 20s this morning by the noon hour. Should be in the mid-30s with that northwest wind. I was counting on more cloud cover for this afternoon, but we still should get into the mid to upper 30s later today. Our average high now is 30. We're going to bounce right back into the 40s tomorrow. We do have the first warn alert day for the accumulating snow come Thursday morning. Not a major snowmaker for us, but enough to create some impacts traveling by Thursday morning. Quite a bit colder by Friday and Saturday with highs in the upper 20s.
Thank you, Kelly. Thanks for waking up with us, folks. We're back in half an hour with another news and weather update.